Hi, my name's John Nagowski, and my persuasive speech today is on the organization called Grace Centers of Hope. It's a homeless shelter in Pontiac, Michigan. I'd like to first introduce you to my audience. I have my beautiful wife, Amy, three of my children. We got Megan, Nathan, and Hannah. I'll break this down into three categories that I want to discuss. The first is, what is Grace Centers of Hope mission? What is Grace Centers of Hope's services? What do they do? And then number three, how can you help support Grace Centers of Hope? The first is the mission. It says it's right on their website. So if you go to gracecentersofhope.org, you'll check out their very nice website, very organized. Right at the top it says, their mission is to change positively the lives of the homeless, addicted, and unwanted through the gospel of Jesus Christ. They do this through personal accountability, life skills education, and work-related programs in addition to the foundation in Christ. The goal is to reduce homelessness and break generational poverty. This is a big problem in Southeast Michigan. Did you know that in Michigan, I did not know this and I was very surprised to find out that there are over 86,000 homeless people in Michigan. In such a cold state as ours, that seems unbelievable. Just in the surrounding counties from Grace Centers of Hope, there's actually almost 35,000. So a lot of these faces are women and children and just people that are down and out. You get a vision typically of panhandlers and such, but really these are a lot of people that are families that live in their cars, they go through motels, they're transient, they live under bridges, and Grace Centers of Hope helps them bridge the time in between their next stay. So what does Grace Centers of Hope do about that? The first is, of course, emergency services. This place you can go get food, clothing, and shelter. They can stay there for 30 days if they want to. So it's a nice place to go if you really need a place to be and it's an emergency. However, the cornerstone of their success, if you read in detail about this organization, is that they have a life skills program. It's offered primarily to those that are, in addition to being homeless, have severe drug or alcohol problems. They're addicted to something. Or it's a program for women that are victims of domestic violence or abuse. So in essence, when you look at this is not a handout, this is a hand up. After they get into the program, they go through thorough counseling and they want to assess where they can put them in the organization. If they go through the one-year program, they're encouraged to work at either one of the 4 thrift stores that they have, or internally they can do some cooking, cleaning, or childcare, or anything else that the organization would need. It's a very large group of people that need help. After we find something for them to do, basically they're telling me that they educate and or teach them a vocation through their state-of-the-art learning center. Many people go on to earn their GED. Some people that lost custody of their children regain their children. And most importantly, they gain the courage to change their lives. Those that successfully make it through the plan really do build a foundation in Christ. Each person goes to church every Sunday and every Wednesday. Aftercare is offered, and it's an extension of the one-year program. These services include an opportunity to buy a home at a reduced cost, learn how to organize their life financially, emotionally, and just organizationally, productively, childcare for their children, and most end up working for Grace Centers of Hope. Last week, I met with the director and was in awe of this organization. All their people that I went and met with, all the administration, all the management, all of them went through the program. It was amazing to see. Jesus is definitely doing something special there, and appears God approves of what they're doing. It was really a powerful testimony to talk to these people. Every single one of them had broken lives, and now we're all new creatures in Christ. So how can you help this organization, Grace Centers of Hope? The first thing I'd say is that they rely solely on their support from businesses and from individuals. The only way they can continue to preach the gospel and do what they're doing is to not take any federal assistance. So, very interesting. I asked them plainly, what do you most need? And they had a mouthful to tell me. They said, last year, John, we turned away 8,500 women and children. Not any men. Literally, they were counting the women and children. They have an opportunity to house roughly 200 people at any given time, and they're turning away an average of 23 people a day. Considering the abuse that many of these women show up and are dealing with, it's totally tragic to turn them away and have them leave, possibly never to come back again. So they're raising money to complete a new, larger women and children center. They're very far along in this, but they still need a lot of money for that. Another thing they told me that was extremely interesting was that they serve over 100,000 meals a year. And a lot goes into that, as you can imagine. They can always use assistance in the food prep area, food kitchen, of course, donations of food, monetary donations. They reminded me that we're coming into the busiest time of their year, which is the holidays and, of course, winter. They do a Thanksgiving holiday dinner and they do a Christmas dinner. So lots of money needs to buy all the food that they're going to be serving this holiday season. Beyond that, she asked me personally if I'd like to speak at any of their get-togethers. She said they don't have enough men to come in and talk to the men. She said, do you know anybody that teaches Sunday school? We have a tremendous need in the child care ministry. And that just reminds you that sometimes time is even more important than money. So I'd ask you to review your missionary budget through the end of the year, see what opportunity you have monetarily. In addition, search your heart and see if you can donate some of your time. The person you'll like to talk to is Miranda. Miranda is the volunteer coordinator at Grace Centers of Hope. Very organized woman. If you have any interest in helping the organization, she would be glad to place you where you're needed. So a little bit about the organization in closing. I actually got quite a bit of literature from them. They started in 1942, so next year is their 75th anniversary. Their brochure, so to speak, is just testimonies of people. This woman on the front was a victim of abuse and ended up coming through the program. She's actually a person that I spoke with and that works at the organization. This gentleman gives his testimony and says, I've always escaped into things. I escaped my youth with alcohol. I escaped fatherhood by going into the Army and then escaped the Army with drugs. It wasn't until I came to Grace Centers of Hope that I decided to stop running. And so they're saying they're a little bit different because they don't have government funding. They have a continuum of care. It's not just, here's some stuff, please leave. It's a development of these individuals, building Christian community, preaching the gospel, and reliance on volunteers. It's just an awesome organization. Crane's Business named them in 2012 the best managed nonprofit nationally. Charity Navigator gives them 4 stars, which is their highest rating for financial accountability. And then lastly, I found a piece in World Magazine from August of 2015 that shows they are the winner of the Midwest for homeless makeover. The Detroit Area Center helps transform homeless, addicted, and transpondent men and women into workers and homeowners. Again, they're building lives. They're teaching people how to become productive members of society. It's a great organization. And last, I'd like to close on just saying that they have a saying at Grace Centers of Hope. They like to say that recovery can only occur with love, personal accountability, and Jesus Christ. And I'd agree. But I'd also like to add that their $8 million budget comes only from the hands and feet of Jesus Christ. Would you please consider donating? Thank you for my time.